Welcome back to the channel, US Rare Coins News. Top 1. Imagine holding a quarter in your hand that at first glance seems ordinary, just a piece of everyday change, but in reality, it carries decades of history, artistry, and potential hidden value. Today, we're taking a journey into one of the classic pieces of American coinage, the 1966 United States Washington quarter dollar. This coin may look familiar, yet it's a fascinating snapshot of American history, a testament to design continuity, and a coin that continues to intrigue collectors around the world. The year 1966 marked a pivotal time in U.S. coinage. The Washington quarter had already been in circulation for more than 2 decades, having been first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By the mid-1960s, the Washington quarter had become one of the most widely used coins in the United States, circulating in wallets, cash registers, and coin jars across the country. But what makes the 1966 issue particularly interesting is its place in the story of U.S. minting history. At that time, the United States was transitioning away from silver in coins. Until 1964, Washington quarters were struck in 90% silver, giving them intrinsic value beyond face value. However, due to rising silver prices, 1965 saw the introduction of clad coinage, a copper-nickel composition that replaced the silver in dimes and quarters. By 1966, all Washington quarters were produced in this new clad composition. While they lost their silver content, these quarters retained the familiar design that generations of Americans had come to recognize and love. On the obverse, the coin proudly features the image of George Washington, rendered with dignity and detail. His profile, facing left, captures both his stoic leadership and his enduring role as a national symbol. The lettering around his portrait reads, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," phrases that connect the coin to the broader ideals of the United States. This side of the coin remains virtually unchanged over decades, a consistent reminder of the nation's founding values. The reverse of the 1966 Washington quarter features a majestic eagle with wings partially spread, perched on a bundle of arrows framed by olive branches. This design, symbolic of both strength and peace, is a powerful representation of America's national identity during a time of global change. The eagle design had been in place since the original 1932 release, and by 1966, it had become a classic, instantly recognizable to all Americans. The words "United States of America" and "quarter dollar" encircle the top and bottom, cementing the coin's identity as a federal issue and reinforcing its role in everyday life. While millions of Washington quarters were minted in 1966, their condition today varies widely. Circulated coins often show signs of wear, with smooth surfaces, flattened details on the eagle and Washington's hair, and scratches from decades of handling. These coins are common and easy to find, but they carry a story of use and history that adds a layer of intrigue for collectors. Uncirculated examples, on the other hand, tell a very different story. These coins retain sharp details on the eagle's feathers, the arrows, and Washington's profile. They exhibit original mint luster, a reflective sheen that highlights the artistry of the coin's design. These pristine examples are highly sought after because they preserve the coin exactly as it appeared when it left the mint over half a century ago. Adding to the appeal are error coins from this period. Minting millions of coins is a complex process, and occasionally mistakes occur. Some 1966 Washington quarters display double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet anomalies. While such errors might be subtle, they transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a unique collectible. Collectors prize these coins not only for their rarity but also for their role in telling the story of the minting process itself. Professional grading can significantly enhance a 1966 quarter's value. When coins are examined by respected third-party grading services, they receive a numerical grade based on condition, strike quality, and visual appeal. High-grade uncirculated examples, especially those with strong eye appeal and minimal marks, are far more desirable and can attract serious collectors looking for the best surviving coins from that era. Beyond value, the 1966 Washington quarter also carries emotional significance. For many Americans, this coin is a reminder of childhood, pocket change, and the era in which they grew up. It represents decades of American life, economic changes, and the transition from silver to clad coinage, making it not just a coin, but a tangible connection to history. As time goes by, finding high-quality examples becomes more challenging. Many coins have been lost, worn, or discarded, which gradually increases the rarity of well-preserved specimens. This scarcity, combined with historical significance and collector interest, is what gives coins like the 1966 Washington quarter their enduring appeal. Now, let's talk about the value. While most 1966 Washington quarters found in everyday circulation remain worth face value, coins that are uncirculated or possess notable errors are far more valuable. According to auction records, high-grade uncirculated 1966 Washington quarters and rare error varieties have sold at auction for several $100s, with exceptional specimens commanding even higher prices depending on condition and rarity. Top 2. Today we're diving deep into the 1974 United States Washington quarter dollar, a coin that has fascinated collectors for generations and continues to hold a special place in the story of American coinage. The Washington quarter has been an iconic piece of U.S. currency since its introduction in 1932, originally struck to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1974, the design had been in circulation for over 4 decades and had become one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. That year, the nation was in the midst of economic, social, and cultural change, and the quarter quietly circulated as a constant, everyday symbol of American currency. On the obverse, the 1974 Washington quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington, rendered in striking detail. Washington faces left, his profile a dignified representation of the first president and a constant reminder of the nation's founding ideals. Surrounding him are the words, "Liberty," at the top and, "In God We Trust," to the left, a combination that ties this coin to both national heritage and personal faith, reflecting values that have remained consistent throughout the centuries. The date, 1974, marks a period of transition in history in its own right, connecting this coin to a specific era of American life. The reverse of the 1974 quarter continues the long-standing design of the American bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, symbolizing strength, preparedness, and the pursuit of peace. The eagle's outstretched wings convey a sense of power and freedom, emblematic of the nation itself. Encircling the eagle are the words, "United States of America," and "quarter dollar," firmly establishing the coin's identity while reinforcing its role in everyday American commerce. In 1974, Washington quarters were still struck in 90% silver until the shift to clad coinage in the mid-1960s had fully taken effect, meaning that coins of this era, including the 1974 issue, were already produced in copper-nickel clad composition. This change reflected rising silver prices and economic considerations but did not diminish the coin's significance. Collectors still view these coins as an essential part of mid-20th century American numismatics. Millions of 1974 Washington quarters were minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, entering circulation across the country. As a result, most examples today show signs of wear, scratches, flattened details on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, and dulling of the coin's surface. These circulated coins are common, but they carry decades of history and tell the story of ordinary Americans' daily lives. Uncirculated coins from 1974, however, are a completely different story. These coins retain crisp details, bright surfaces, and original mint luster, showcasing the design as it appeared the day it left the mint. Collectors prize these examples because they represent a preserved piece of history, a snapshot of American coinage in near-perfect condition. As time goes on, uncirculated examples become increasingly rare and more desirable. Minting errors add yet another layer of fascination. During the production of millions of quarters, occasional mistakes occurred, creating unique variations. Some 1974 quarters display double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet anomalies. These errors transform ordinary coins into highly sought-after collectibles. Each error coin is unique, telling the story of the minting process and offering collectors a rare opportunity to own something one of a kind. Professional grading also plays a critical role in the coin's appeal. When a 1974 Washington quarter is graded by a respected third-party service, it receives an official numerical grade reflecting its condition, strike quality, and eye appeal. High-grade coins are particularly desirable because they represent the finest surviving examples from that year, making them more valuable to serious collectors. The 1974 Washington quarter also carries emotional and historical significance. For many, it evokes memories of childhood, pocket change, and an era of American life characterized by cultural shifts, political events, and daily routines. For collectors, it represents continuity and tradition, a coin that has quietly persisted through decades, witnessing history in its own small way. As the years pass, the number of high-quality 1974 quarters naturally declines. Coins are lost, damaged, or spent, while collectors focus increasingly on pristine examples. What was once a common piece of pocket change now holds historical weight and collector interest, elevating its status beyond mere currency. Now, let's discuss value. While most 1974 Washington quarters found in circulation remain worth face value, coins that are uncirculated or exhibit notable errors tell a very different story. According to auction records, high-grade uncirculated 1974 Washington quarters and rare error varieties have sold at auction for several $100s, with exceptional examples achieving even higher prices depending on condition and rarity. Top 3. Today, we're diving into the 1987 United States Washington quarter dollar, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, but holds a fascinating story of design, history, and hidden value that continues to captivate collectors around the world. By 1987, the Washington quarter had already been in circulation for more than 50 years. Originally introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, this coin had become one of the most widely recognized and used pieces of American currency. Over the decades, it had witnessed history unfold, economic shifts, political change, technological innovations, and cultural milestones, all while quietly circulating in pockets, cash registers, and coin jars across the country. The 1987 quarter is a small piece of that story. On the obverse of the coin, we find the familiar image of George Washington, rendered in dignified detail. His left-facing profile is a symbol of leadership, courage, and the enduring legacy of America's first president. Surrounding his portrait are the words, "Liberty," and, "In God We Trust," along with the year 1987 prominently displayed at the bottom. This side of the coin ties the design to the broader narrative of American history, reflecting ideals that have remained constant over generations. The reverse of the 1987 Washington quarter features the iconic American bald eagle, wings outstretched, perched on a bundle of arrows framed by olive branches. This design, in place since the coin's original 1932 release, symbolizes strength, preparedness, and the desire for peace. The eagle's sharp, detailed feathers and commanding stance make it a powerful emblem of the United States, while the words "United States of America" and "quarter dollar" encircle the design, clearly establishing its identity. In 1987, Washington quarters were produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and proof versions were struck at the San Francisco mint. Millions of coins entered circulation that year, and because of their extensive use, most examples today show signs of wear. Circulated coins often display scratches, flattened details on the eagle's feathers, and smoothing on Washington's hair. While common, these coins tell the story of daily life, commerce, and the decades in which they circulated. Uncirculated coins, however, tell a very different story. These examples retain sharp details, a clean surface, and original mint luster that highlights the artistry of the design. Collectors prize uncirculated 1987 quarters because they offer a pristine glimpse into how the coin appeared when it first left the mint. Over time, truly uncirculated examples have become increasingly rare, making them highly desirable. Minting errors add another layer of intrigue. Even in a year as seemingly routine as 1987, mistakes occasionally slipped through the high-speed production process. Some quarters display off-center strikes, double dies, or other anomalies. These errors transform a standard coin into a one-of-a-kind collectible, appealing to collectors who are always looking for rare and unusual examples. Professional grading further enhances a coin's appeal. When a 1987 Washington quarter is examined and certified by a third-party grading service, it receives a numerical grade reflecting its condition, strike quality, and overall eye appeal. High-grade coins are especially sought after because they represent the finest surviving examples from that year. Grading provides collectors with confidence in authenticity and quality, which can significantly increase a coin's value in the marketplace. Beyond monetary worth, the 1987 Washington quarter carries emotional and historical significance. For many, it evokes memories of childhood collections, casual coin searches, and the thrill of spotting a special quarter among everyday change. It represents a tangible connection to the past, to a time when coins were an integral part of daily life and collecting them became a popular hobby for millions of Americans. As years pass, high-quality 1987 quarters naturally become scarcer. Circulated coins get lost or damaged, while collectors focus on pristine, uncirculated, or error examples. This scarcity, combined with historical significance and visual appeal, helps maintain the coin's value and interest over time. Now comes the moment collectors eagerly anticipate: the value. While most 1987 Washington quarters found in circulation remain worth face value, exceptional examples can command significantly more. According to auction records, high-grade uncirculated 1987 Washington quarters and rare error varieties have sold at auction for several $100s, with top-quality coins achieving even higher prices depending on rarity and condition. Top 4. Today, we're exploring the 1988 United States Washington quarter dollar, a coin that at first glance may look like any other 25-cent piece, yet has captured the interest of collectors for years, representing both American tradition and the story of everyday life in the late 20th century. By 1988, the Washington quarter had been circulating for over half a century. Originally released in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the coin quickly became an iconic fixture in American currency. Its design, symbolizing strength, patriotism, and the legacy of the nation's first president, resonated with generations of Americans. The 1988 quarter reflects a period when the country was experiencing cultural shifts, technological advances, and economic challenges, yet this small coin remained a consistent presence in pockets, wallets, and cash registers across the nation. On the obverse side, the familiar profile of George Washington greets the collector. Facing left, his portrait exudes dignity and gravitas. Surrounding the image are the words "Liberty" at the top and "In God We Trust" to the left, with the year 1988 inscribed at the bottom. The consistency of this design over decades makes the Washington quarter instantly recognizable, while the details, Washington's hair, the contours of his face, and the sharpness of the lines, highlight the artistry of the coin. Even a casual glance at a well-preserved 1988 quarter reveals the care that went into creating this enduring symbol. The reverse side features the classic American bald eagle perched atop a bundle of arrows, clutching olive branches beneath. The eagle's wings are spread slightly, conveying strength, vigilance, and the desire for peace, a hallmark of the United States identity. The surrounding inscriptions, "United States of America" and "Quarter Dollar," firmly anchor the coin in its national context, while the design itself conveys a sense of power and pride. This reverse design had been in use since the coin's inception, and by 1988 it was deeply ingrained in the collective consciousness of Americans. In 1988, Washington quarters were struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and proof versions were created at the San Francisco Mint. Millions of these coins entered circulation, passing through countless hands. Over time, the majority of these coins became worn, with flattened details, scratches, and dulled surfaces. These circulated quarters are common, yet they tell a story of everyday commerce and the countless interactions they witnessed in their decades of service. Uncirculated coins, however, are a different story entirely. These coins maintain sharp details, a crisp surface, and a reflective mint luster that makes the design come alive. Collectors prize uncirculated 1988 quarters because they offer a glimpse into the coin's original condition, exactly as it left the mint. Such coins become increasingly rare as years go by, as circulation inevitably takes its toll, making pristine examples far more desirable. Adding to the intrigue are minting errors. Even in a year as seemingly routine as 1988, errors occasionally occurred. Some quarters featured double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet anomalies. These errors are not flaws in the collector's eyes, they are rare variations that transform a standard coin into a unique piece. Collectors actively seek out these error coins because they are one-of-a-kind examples of the minting process, offering both historical insight and tangible scarcity. professional grading plays a significant role in a coin's value. When a 1988 Washington quarter is submitted to a third-party grading service, it receives an official numerical grade based on condition, strike quality, and visual appeal. High-grade examples stand out in the market, as they represent the best surviving specimens of that year. Grading provides collectors with confidence in authenticity and condition, which can have a substantial impact on the coin's market value. Beyond its monetary worth, the 1988 Washington quarter carries a strong emotional and historical resonance. For many Americans, it evokes memories of childhood collections, trips to the bank, and searching through loose change for coins with special significance. It represents a tangible connection to the late 1980s, a period of American history marked by both technological advancements and cultural milestones. For collectors, this quarter is more than currency, it is a piece of history, a reminder of continuity and tradition. As decades pass, high-quality examples of 1988 quarters become scarcer. Circulated coins inevitably show wear, while collectors increasingly focus on pristine, uncirculated, or error examples. This natural attrition, combined with sustained collector interest, ensures that the value of well-preserved coins remains significant. Finally, let's talk about value. While most 1988 Washington quarters found in everyday circulation remain worth only their face value, coins in exceptional condition or those with notable errors tell a very different story. According to auction records, high-grade uncirculated 1988 Washington quarters and rare error varieties have sold at auction for several $100s, with exceptional specimens achieving even higher prices depending on rarity and condition. Top 5. Today, we're diving deep into the 1990 United States Washington quarter dollar, a coin that holds a special place in the story of American currency and continues to capture the attention of collectors and history enthusiasts alike. By 1990, the Washington quarter had already been circulating for nearly 6 decades. Introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, this quarter quickly became one of the most iconic and widely recognized coins in the United States. Its design celebrates the legacy of America's first president while serving as a consistent fixture in everyday life. The 1990 quarter, small and seemingly unassuming, embodies a piece of American history, economic life, and national pride all at once. On the obverse side, the coin features the well-known profile of George Washington. Facing left, his portrait exudes dignity, leadership, and the enduring legacy of the nation's first president. The inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," frame his profile, while the date, 1990, sits prominently at the bottom. This obverse design has remained remarkably consistent over decades, which has made the Washington quarter instantly recognizable to generations of Americans. The precision of Washington's hair, the contours of his face, and the detailing in the engraving reflect both artistry and the mint's commitment to quality. Turning the coin over, the reverse features the classic American bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches below. This iconic design symbolizes strength, vigilance, and peace. The eagle's outstretched wings and sharp detailing convey power, while the surrounding inscriptions, "United States of America," and "Quarter Dollar," firmly anchor the coin in its national context. By 1990, this eagle design had become a deeply familiar image, representing the United States' values and identity across generations. In 1990, Washington quarters were minted in massive numbers at both the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. Proof versions were also struck at the San Francisco Mint, intended primarily for collectors. The majority of 1990 quarters entered circulation, passing through millions of hands over the years. As a result, most examples show varying degrees of wear, with flattened details on the eagle's feathers, subtle scratches, and dulled surfaces. While these circulated coins are common, they tell the story of decades of American life, commerce, and history. Uncirculated examples of the 1990 Washington quarter, however, offer a dramatically different experience. These coins retain sharp, crisp details, pristine surfaces, and the original mint luster that reflects light beautifully. Collectors prize these coins for their condition, as they provide a glimpse of how the coin appeared when it first left the mint. Over time, as circulated coins inevitably show wear, the rarity and desirability of uncirculated coins increases significantly. Adding to the intrigue are minting errors. Even in a seemingly routine year like 1990, errors occasionally occurred during production. Some coins feature double dies, off-center strikes, or minor planchet anomalies. While these errors might be subtle, they transform an ordinary quarter into a rare collectible. Error coins are highly sought after by collectors precisely because they are one-of-a-kind variations that stand out from the millions of standard coins produced. Professional grading enhances the coin's appeal further. When a 1990 Washington quarter is submitted to a respected third-party grading service, it receives an official numerical grade that evaluates its condition, strike quality, and visual appeal. High-grade examples are especially valuable, representing the finest surviving coins from that year. Grading adds a layer of confidence for collectors, ensuring authenticity and helping establish market value. Beyond its financial or collectible significance, the 1990 Washington quarter also carries a strong emotional and historical resonance. For many Americans, it evokes memories of childhood coin collections, pocket change, and the excitement of spotting a special quarter among everyday coins. It represents a tangible connection to the early 1990s, a time of cultural shifts, technological innovation, and social change. Holding this quarter is like holding a small piece of history, a reminder of continuity amidst decades of transformation. As time goes on, high-quality 1990 quarters become increasingly scarce. Circulated coins are lost, damaged, or worn, while collectors naturally gravitate toward pristine, uncirculated, or error examples. This gradual decline in available top-quality coins, combined with sustained interest among collectors, ensures that well-preserved 1990 quarters maintain their desirability and value. Now, let's talk about value. While the majority of 1990 Washington quarters in circulation are still worth face value, coins in exceptional condition or with notable minting errors tell a very different story. According to auction records, high-grade uncirculated 1990 Washington quarters and rare error varieties have sold at auction for several $100s, with the most exceptional examples fetching even higher prices depending on rarity and condition. Top 6. Today, we are going to explore the 1991 United States Washington quarter dollar, a coin that may appear common at first glance, but it holds a remarkable story, bridging history, culture, and the intricate world of coin collecting. By 1991, the Washington quarter had been in circulation for nearly 60 years. Introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, this quarter quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. Its design honors the nation's first president, reflecting both pride and continuity, while serving as a staple in daily life. The 1991 quarter was minted in large numbers, passing through countless hands and witnessing decades of American history, yet each coin carries its own unique story. On the obverse, the 1991 Washington quarter features the familiar profile of George Washington. His left-facing portrait conveys dignity, leadership, and the enduring legacy of the first President of the United States. Surrounding Washington's profile are the words, "Liberty," at the top and, "In God We Trust," to the left, with the date, 1991, positioned at the bottom. This obverse design, unchanged for decades, is instantly recognizable, and even subtle details such as Washington's hair strands, facial contours, and fine lines reflect the skill and artistry involved in coin design. The reverse showcases the classic American bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches below. This eagle design, first introduced in 1932, symbolizes strength, vigilance, and peace. Its wings, partially extended, portray the power of the nation, while the arrows represent preparedness, and the olive branch conveys the desire for peace. Surrounding the eagle are the inscriptions, "United States of America," and "Quarter Dollar," anchoring the coin firmly as a piece of national currency. The sharpness of the eagle's feathers and the detailing in the arrows and branches reflect the quality and care of the minting process. In 1991, Washington quarters were minted at the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. Proof versions, intended primarily for collectors, were struck at the San Francisco Mint. Millions of these coins were released into circulation, and over time, most show signs of wear. Circulated coins often exhibit scratches, worn-down eagle feathers, and smoothing of Washington's hair. These coins, while common, carry a story of everyday life, commerce, and history, silently witnessing decades of transactions and daily use. Uncirculated examples of the 1991 Washington quarter tell a much different story. These coins retain their sharp details, pristine surfaces, and original mint luster, providing a glimpse into how the coin appeared when it first left the mint. Collectors prize uncirculated quarters because they preserve the design perfectly, and their scarcity in such condition makes them highly desirable. Over the years, as more coins were spent and circulated, the rarity of flawless examples has steadily increased. Minting errors add another layer of intrigue and collectability. Even in a seemingly standard year like 1991, errors occurred during the minting process. Some coins exhibit double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet anomalies. These error coins are not defects in the collector's eyes but rare variations that make each coin unique. Collectors actively seek out these anomalies because they tell the story of the minting process and offer a chance to own a one-of-a-kind piece of history. Professional grading can significantly impact the value of a coin. When a 1991 Washington quarter is evaluated by a respected third-party grading service, it receives a numerical grade that reflects its condition, strike quality, and overall visual appeal. Coins graded in high uncirculated condition are particularly sought after, representing the finest surviving specimens of that year. Grading provides collectors with confidence in authenticity and quality, which often translates to higher market value. Beyond monetary value, the 1991 Washington quarter carries historical and emotional significance. It represents a tangible connection to the early 1990s, a period of technological innovation, cultural change, and social development in the United States. For many Americans, it evokes memories of childhood coin collections, trips to the bank, and the thrill of discovering a special quarter among everyday change. It is more than just currency, it is a link to personal and national history that as time passes, high-quality examples of the 1991 quarter naturally become more scarce. Circulated coins are lost, damaged, or worn, while collectors focus on pristine, uncirculated, or error specimens. This scarcity, combined with historical significance, artistry, and collector demand, helps maintain the value of well-preserved coins. Even though the coin may appear common in circulation, a carefully preserved example can hold substantial interest and significance in the collector community. Now let's talk about the value of this coin. While most 1991 Washington quarters in circulation are still worth face value, coins that are uncirculated or display minting errors can be worth significantly more. According to auction records, high-grade uncirculated 1991 Washington quarters and rare error varieties have sold at auction for several $100s, with exceptional specimens fetching even higher prices depending on rarity and condition. This demonstrates a fascinating truth. Even a small, everyday coin like the 1991 Washington quarter can carry history, artistry, and collectible value. So the next time you come across a 1991 quarter in your change or coin collection, take a moment to examine it closely. You might just be holding a small yet powerful piece of American history, a tangible connection to the past, and a potential collectible treasure in the palm of your hand.